Good evening, Vallarta and the entire Bay Area. I am so happy to be saying hello to you tonight because it's a special evening for us. This, if you haven't kept count, is our 2-year anniversary episode.
Of course it is. We are so happy. Thanks for being here with us tonight. Thank you for still being here after 2 years.
I know,
oh my gosh.
Thank you but mostly what I want to thank is not me and you. I want to thank you. You know, a lot of you out there have been watching since day one, and we so much appreciate you've been giving us comments and feedback and been just recognizing us out in public for what we do. And I personally, I know we're going to say it a lot during the show, but thank you to all of you viewers. And I hope that we have a great newscast tonight and enjoy the evening with us.
Yes, you will hear a lot of thank yous tonight, so you can make it a drinking game. Why not?
Yes, every time we say thank you, have a shot of tequila. I love that. That is a great idea. Wait, am I allowed to say that on air? I don't even know.
Yes, you can say that.
Just don't do it. Okay, fair enough. Let's get on with the newscast. It is time for headlines, so that means let's go.
In local headlines tonight, Miss Maloya roadblock ends after protesters confront officials over beach access and Los Arcos protections. Jalisco opens new car registration cycle, offering breaks on fees, fines, and plate updates. In national news, Mexico issues alert over new digital scheme putting online sellers at risk across Mexico. Don't be the next victim. And finally, David the Sports Guy tells us how Vallarta midfielder Kevin Castañeda earns call-up to Mexico's national team. All that and more tonight on CPS News, the news that speaks your language.
Okay, in our first story tonight, just south of Puerto Vallarta, tensions flared last week near one of the region's most iconic natural landmarks, leading to hours of traffic disruptions. Here's Joe with the story.
After 6 hours of intermittent roadblocks on Federal Highway 200 south of Puerto Vallarta, municipal authorities successfully reopened traffic following negotiations with local residents, environmental activists, business owners, and tourism service providers from Ms. Maloya. Protesters had gathered near the iconic Los Arcos rock formations, shutting down the roadway to denounce what they called the attempted privatization of public beachfront and threats to a protected natural area. The demonstrators demanded government intervention after a private company reportedly installed fencing and signage within the federal maritime zone, an action they argue violates Article 27 of Mexico's Constitution, which guarantees public access to beaches. Municipal Representative Vincent O'Halloran Lepe, head of the Cabinet for Territory and Sustainable City, met with protesters and emphasized that the only official project for the area is environmental conservation. He committed to pushing for the formal designation of Los Arcos as a federally recognized natural protected area. During the meeting, activists presented a formal petition addressed to Mayor Luis Ernesto Munguia Gonzalez, requesting that it be forwarded to state and federal authorities, including Semarnat, Mexico's environmental agency, and even President Claudia Sheinbaum. City officials reaffirmed that no construction permits have been granted for the site and pledged to act as an institutional liaison while the federal government reviews the case. The petition outlines 10 key demands, including a public statement from the mayor, federal clarification of the area's legal status, support for official protected area designation, no concessions to private companies, full transparency of municipal records, guaranteed public beach access, respect for local vendors, and an end to fencing or signage by private entities. O'Halloran concluded by stating that while beach concessions fall under federal jurisdiction, the municipality will continue to advocate for residents and environmental groups to ensure the preservation of Los Arcos de Ms. Maloya. With information from Miguel Gonzalez Guerra, Joe Wasik, CPS News.
There you have it. As this story progresses, we will, of course, bring you all of the updates. Now, moving on, here's Brent with our next story tonight.
Thanks, Jesse. The government of Jalisco is kicking off the 2026 Referendo Vehicular, and they're keeping things simple this year. Same fees, easier process, and a few incentives to nudge people to get it done early. It's still 1,000 pesos for cars, 600 for motorcycles, and if you handle it online in January or February, you even get a 5% discount. That payment also covers your vehicle inspection. State officials say Jalisco residents jumped on it right away. In fact, the first week of January brought in more than 188 million pesos. That's up more than 12% from last year. Drivers will also see big breaks throughout 2026. 70% off ownership transfers, and more reductions on traffic fines and surcharges. Up to 60% if you pay online in these first 2 months. What a deal. You can take care of it through interest-free bank plans, authorized payment centers, or installment options. And if you already paid your 2025 refrendo but still haven't swapped out your plates, the state has extended the free replacement period through March. Thank you so much to MGG for that first story tonight. And now we're going to move on to our first word from one of our sponsors. And of course, that is Cerámicas Exclusivas.
Yes, of course, it's Cerámicas Exclusivas. And let me tell you that January is not for overthinking. It's for taking advantage. If you're going to remodel, do it right and do it now at Cerámicas Exclusivas. Premium flooring, high-end ceramics, smart toilets, designer faucets, and appliances to elevate your home. Kick off the year promotion. Enjoy 3 months interest-free in all Castle, Firens, and Gante in stock items with Panamax. And pay attention, the Draco Gray model is available with up to 6 months interest-free, plus 3 months interest-free on select toilets and sinks. So do not miss out. Visit them today at Federación 390, Paseos Universidad in Ixtapa, Puerto Vallarta, or you can call 333810 6053. Cerámicas Exclusivas, the perfect choice for exceptional projects. Now, here's Joe with our next story tonight.
Traffic in downtown Puerto Vallarta returned to normal after parents and students lifted a 2-hour protest that had blocked Juarez and Morelos streets in front of City Hall. Families from the Teresa Barba Palomera Elementary School had staged the demonstration to demand the long-delayed rehabilitation of their campus, which was closed more than 6 months ago due to structural risk. Since then, students have been forced to attend classes in a distance school in the Alta Vista neighborhood. City Councilor Victor Bernal Vargas, who chairs the Education Commission, stepped in as mediator. Using his cell phone on speaker, he connected protesters with Monica Gaspar Flores, Director of Planning and Budget for the Jalisco Ministry of Education, who listened to parents' concerns from Guadalajara. After hearing their demands, the state official committed to visiting the school next Friday to inspect the facility and present a concrete rehabilitation plan tied to available funding programs. Only after this visit was scheduled did demonstrators agree to reopen the streets. However, parents warned they will block roads again if the government fails to follow through. With information from MGG, Joe Wasik, CPS News.
Parents say they'll be watching closely to see if that visit happens and whether a real plan finally moves forward. All right, for now, the streets are open again, but the pressure is on and officials aren't going anywhere. Now, here's a word, again, from a sponsor.
Yes, and if you're looking for a subtle change that enhances your natural beauty, Aesthetic City Clinic is the place to go. Dr. Ulises Gomez, a certified aesthetic physician, specializes in facial harmonization, focus on the nose, the lips, and the chin. Every treatment begins with a personalized consultation where Dr. Gomez listens to your goals and designs the ideal plan to achieve natural-looking results. To schedule your consultation, visit him at Rio Yaqui 225 Fluvial Vallarta or call 322-201-2637. Aesthetic City Clinic, where science and art come together to help you look amazing.
Okay, next up, Puerto Vallarta is stepping in to support local fishermen with a new funding aimed at keeping a key coastal tradition alive. And here's Maria with the uplifting details.
The Puerto Vallarta City Council has approved a 300,000 peso grant to support 7 local fishermen in purchasing outboard motors and a fishing boat known as a panga. The funding complements a state program from SADER, which covered part of the cost but fell short of what was needed for safe and efficient operations at sea. Officials emphasized that local fishermen are vital to Vallarta's economy, food security, and cultural heritage. They also noted that this investment will strengthen coastal communities and help sustain local jobs. Among the beneficiaries are Jorge Parra, Rafael Silva, Ildefonso Ornelas, Paolo Fernandez, Ismael Hoya, and brothers Fernando and Modesto Guarena, who said that in 50 years of fishing, he had never received this kind of municipal support. Meanwhile, fishing production in Jalisco has dropped sharply from more than 55,000 tons in 2016 to just over 17,000 in 2023, highlighting the challenges facing the industry. With information from Guadalupe Arce, Maria Ammerman, CPS News.
What a great story for these fishermen. Nice job, PV City Council. Now moving on, last week had a little shake, rattle, and roll. Not sure what we have to tell you that if you were here, but if not, here are the details.
A magnitude 4.4 earthquake shook the region early Wednesday morning, but authorities report no damage and no evacuations in Bahia de Banderas. The tremor was recorded at 7:18 a.m. local time, with its epicenter located 6.8 kilometers north of Cabo Corrientes, Jalisco, at a shallow depth of 6 kilometers. According to civil protection and fire authorities in Nayarit, the quake was barely perceptible along the Bay of Banderas and did not trigger any emergency protocols in hospitals, public buildings, hotels, or residential areas. Officials from the Nuevo Vallarta operations base confirmed a saldo blanco, meaning no injuries, no structural damage, and no emergency calls from residents. Authorities classified the event as a low-intensity seismic movement and say they will continue routine monitoring to rule out any hidden impacts, but stress that the situation remains fully under control. With information from Israel Torres, Eric Stevenson, CPS News.
Okay, other than getting a little more emphasis when Jesse says shake, rattle, and roll, we'll keep going. But hopefully you rolled along with it. We're okay. But authorities do say monitoring will continue, but everything has been pretty calm since Wednesday. Hopefully it stays that way. Now here's Maria once more with our next story tonight.
The state of Nayarit has recovered and expropriated 700 hectares of land in Bahia de Banderas after uncovering an alleged criminal network involving forged documents, sham lawsuits, and public notaries. State prosecutors and government legal officials announced that the land, located in Destiladeras along the old highway to La Cruz de Guanacaste and in Punta Mita, was the subject of a more than 2-year legal battle tied to attempts at illegal dispossession. Authorities say criminal groups tried to seize the property through fabricated litigation and fraudulent deeds registered by corrupt notaries. One notary from Ixtlan del Rio allegedly planted a fake deed dating back to 2015 in an effort to derail the expropriation. He has since been arrested, along with 2 other individuals. Prosecutors also revealed that another scheme involved sham labor lawsuits in which a police officer and a hamburger vendor, both now detained, attempted to claim the 700 hectares for just 2 million pesos, a fraction of its real value. Investigations expanded after a forged document was used to lift the seizure of 3 properties linked to money laundering. This led authorities to identify businessman Hector Cárdenas Curiel as the alleged mastermind of a multi-billion peso fraud scheme using hundreds of trusts to hide real ownership of land. Cárdenas remains a fugitive, while another notary in Bahia de Banderas has already been formally charged in connection with the case. Prosecutors say the investigation is ongoing as the state works to protect public land in one of Mexico's most valuable coastal zones. With information from Israel Torres, Maria Ammerman, CPS News.
Well, this investigation will continue as the state moves to secure that land and, of course, pursue everyone involved. We will provide the updates, of course, as we get more on this story in the coming weeks. Now, yes, we have been on air for 2 years, and this is when it gets fun because you're going to be listening to a lot of thank yous on this next story.
This is more than a news story. This is a thank you letter. CPS Media officially launched on January 22nd, 2024 on TVMAR channel 10.1, becoming the first televised newscast of its kind in this region. And while that's something we're incredibly proud of, what truly matters is the people who made it possible. This journey began on the radio as a creator, producer, and host of Asphalt Radio, Vallarta's own local all-English radio show. Our listeners kept asking for news. And instead of changing a casual lifestyle show, I chose to build something new, something honest, local, and community-driven. that idea became CPS News. After inviting Brent Lane to join the project and sharing the vision with the directors of CPS Media, the project was approved. And suddenly, this dream became a reality. After inviting Brent Lane to join the project, yes, the Brent Lane, and sharing the vision with the directors of CPS Media, the project was approved. And suddenly, this dream became a reality. CPS News exists because of an extraordinary team led by producer Daniel Lopez, alongside Raúl Valdez, Ever El Chino Gutierrez, our sound engineer, Mr. Edgar Aguas, or Waters, our floor manager, Itzia Rodriguez, and our editing team formed by Armando Flores, Richard Padilla, and Cain Moreno. Thank you guys for the long days, the late nights, and the passion you bring to this newsroom. I also want to thank our former producers, Ere Rangel and Oscar Arturo Caletti Cruz. You taught us so much, and it was truly an honor to work and grow with you. Our reporters, Fernanda Bojorquez, Israel Torres, Guadalupe Arce, Hugo Lin, Rodrigo López Becerril, and Miguel González Guerra, are out there every day covering the real stories of Puerto Vallarta and Bahía de Banderas. And those stories reach even farther thanks to our English language collaborators, David, the sports guy, Herchek, Laura Lane, Maria Ammerman, Joe Wasick, Sonny Rosie, Barbara Lapointe, Kirsten Rakuya, Luna Tamayo, Gus Brava, Dan McNeil, Sarah Joy, and many, many more. Thank you for lending your voices, your time, and your hearts. As anchor, co-producer, scriptwriter, and coordinator of CPS News, I also want to sincerely thank our sponsors. Your support allows us to continue telling stories that matter and serving this community with integrity. And finally, thank you to our community, to those who come to us with their causes, their events, their businesses, and the challenges in their neighborhoods. And of course, to our viewers watching from outside the country, staying connected to family and friends on this side of the world. And of course, thanks to Brent Lane, my co-anchor that I truly enjoy working with every week. 2 years of news, 2 years of teamwork, 2 years of commitment, and this story is just beginning.
Oh, as I cry a little there.
CPS needs a little break. I feel like we have to go to commercial, but I mean, that was amazing. I hope, Jesse, amazing job with that. You put that together and did a great job.
Lots of pictures, 2 years of pictures.
I know. And so, of course, you mentioned a lot of that in the video, but thanks so much to, back in the day, we had Luna here on events, and we had Laura doing Laura's Leisure List.
Laura.
We started out. And of course, we had Red Hot Happenings with Kirsten. I really remember like our first Christmas newscast. I remember how fun that was the very first time. And we had all the decorations and the video. Naming the crocodile. I loved when we did that.
The crocodile one, the mariachis one. Oh, there's so many great memories. Thank you for all of that. Another shot.
And we're going to create a bunch of new ones. And we got David the sports guy and a lot of new stuff planned for our third year. And you know, obviously, if you've got anything, any ideas that you think you want to bring to the show, well, you're part of this too. You're part of this road with us. You traveled with us for 2 years. You know, help us figure out the next evolution of this show. We cannot wait to do it with you. Thank you so much. But I think we need to recompose ourselves and go to commercial.
We will be back with more. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, everybody, and thanks for sticking with CPS News, the news that speaks your language, and the only English language news program in all of Bahia de Banderas. But hey, speaking of our area, you know what? It is time when people are looking towards moving to Mexico. And it sounds exciting, doesn't it? I mean, I was excited when we did it, but it can also be a bit overwhelming.
That's right, Brent. Looking for a neighborhood, that's perfect for you, or even getting your visa approved, it could be really difficult. But that's why we have invited Des with a Z from mydestination.com, and she's going to tell us how to get it done the easy way.
Thank you guys, and as always, it's such a pleasure to be here. So today I want to share something really exciting. My relocation services have now expanded to over 20 cities across Mexico, including my favorites, such as Puerto Vallarta, Mexico City, Ajijic, Chapala, and Querétaro. But let's keep this relevant to Vallarta since this is my home base. What I see most often are people with the same concerns, and they usually fall into 3 main points. One of the first questions people ask is, where should I live? Puerto Vallarta has so many options, from Zona Romantica to Marina Vallarta to family-friendly neighborhoods a little further out. The challenge is knowing what actually fits your lifestyle and budget. Do you want walkability? Do you want quiet? Do you want ocean views? That's why I offer private neighborhood tours and housing search support with trusted realtors. We don't just show you listings, we walk you through the neighborhoods, point out the schools, gyms, grocery stores, and even the hidden taco spots so that you can picture what your real life would look like here. The second pain point is all the paperwork. Immigration, banking, utilities, healthcare, it can be overwhelming. That's where my full service relocation packages make all the difference. For example, with my VIP packages, clients get full residency and consulate support from visa prep to Canje, CURP, RFC, and even SAT registration. We handle the practical side too, such as driver's licenses, banking, money transfers, temporary import permits for vehicles, and even menaje de casa for moving your belongings to Mexico. On top of that, we set up the essentials so that you can land and live, such as utilities, Wi-Fi, SIM cards, online bill pay in Spanish, groceries, drinking water, and even cleaners if you want that turnkey setup. Most people don't realize how many little steps there are until they're in line at the government office for the 3rd time. It's Mexican time. My role is to make sure those headaches don't derail your move. The 3rd big challenge is integration. It's not just about moving boxes, it's about moving lives. For families, I help with school enrollment, family integration, and bilingual education options. For pet owners, we handle pet relocation assistance, paperwork, airline requirements, and even service animal registration. And for everyone else, I offer lifestyle concierge support, finding gyms, faith communities, dating circles, wink wink, PV singles, and volunteer opportunities, and even LGBTQ+ resources. I want my clients to feel like they're not just surviving in the move, but they're actually thriving here in their new life. So whether you're moving to Puerto Vallarta or one of the 20+ cities we now serve across Mexico, the key is this: relocation doesn't have to be overwhelming. With the right guidance, you can skip the stress, land on your feet, and start enjoying the paradise you came here for.
Great information. I love that relocation isn't just about logistics, but it's about building a life, right?
It is. There's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot about the housing and getting things done. But the good news is I've actually sent people to Des, and they've been so happy. So my Destinations has really taken care of them and made their transitions super smooth.
Yep, she makes it seem so easy. So remember the website, mydestination with the Z.com. There you have it. But now we gotta go into something different. Yes, we're gonna talk about Soleva.
Thanks, Jesse. So if you're thinking about living or investing in Puerto Vallarta, Soleva in Marina Vallarta is a must-see. This pre-construction development combines a prime location, modern design, and strong long-term value with quick access to hospitals, shopping centers, schools, and of course the marina. By buying now, you can lock in better pricing and take advantage of special pre-sale conditions. Schedule a visit to the showroom and imagine what everyday life at Soleva could be like. Call 322-183-3411 or on social media, look for them at Soleva. Soleva, elevate your life.
All right, now more information. In Nuevo Vallarta, a sharp jump in fees for heavy-duty vehicles is stirring tension among developers who say the new charges are hitting construction projects hard. Here's Joe again with the details.
Developers in Nuevo Vallarta are raising alarms after a steep increase in fees for heavy-duty vehicles circulating inside the resort complex, with some charges rising as much as 275% between 2023 and 2026. The Bahia de Banderas Trust, known as FIBA, which administers the Nuevo Vallarta Tourism and Residential Development, released a new fee schedule that has been in effect since November 2023, but shows significant hikes for 2026. According to the new rates, trucks such as dump trucks, concrete mixers, water tankers, and trailers now pay between 250 and 300 pesos per permit, up from just 80 pesos 3 years ago. That represents an increase of more than double, and in some cases nearly triple. For the first time, 3-ton pickup trucks are also included in the fee structure and must now pay 160 pesos, even though they were previously exempt. The permits cover a 7-day period, excluding Sundays, directly impacting construction companies and real estate developers working in what is now officially called Nuevo Nayarit. Industry representatives estimate that they must pay between 1,000 and 1,200 pesos per vehicle each month just to move their equipment in and out. Local council member and architect Citlali Huerta Peña criticized the measure, saying the highest fee does not appear in any official public document, yet builders are being forced to pay it before their trucks are allowed to leave the area. So far, FIBA has not publicly explained how the collected funds are being used, fueling concerns about transparency and sparking growing frustration among developers, business owners, and local officials in Bahia de Banderas. Authorities are now being urged to review the charges and their legal basis as the dispute continues. With information from Israel Torres, Joe Wasik, CPS News.
Now, a quick word from our sponsor. And if you've been watching the news for 2 years, you know who that's going to be. Of course, it's going to be Hospital Hoya, because they're reminding everyone that this is a great time to check in on your well-being. They offer full medical checkups, lab and imaging services, specialist consultations, and round-the-clock emergency care, along with dedicated ICU and pediatric units. If you'd like more information or want to book an appointment, you can just call 322-226-1010 or 322-226-8181. And of course, you can follow Hospital Hoya on social media and keep up with their latest promotions. Hospital Hoya, committed to your health and your family's well-being. Now on to our next story, and this time, it's a colorful one.
Benjamin Moore is strengthening its presence in Puerto Vallarta, reinforcing its reputation for quality, innovation, and artistic commitment as it approaches its 3rd anniversary in the city. With more than 140 years of history and operations in 77 countries, the global paint brand continues to expand in Mexico. According to Arturo Martinez, commercial director of Benjamin Moore Mexico, the company has been in the country for 7 years and is growing steadily, with locations in Mexico City, Guadalajara, Los Cabos, and Puerto Vallarta, and new openings planned in Aguascalientes and the capital. In Vallarta, the brand stands out for its personalized service, sending staff directly to work sites to assess client needs. Its products also offer superior performance. A single bucket can cover up to 185 square meters, compared to 100 or 110 from competitors. with exterior paints backed by a 25-year warranty. Benjamin Moore also boasts more than 3,500 colors, including 252 shades of white, with guaranteed consistency worldwide thanks to its proprietary pigments and resins. The Vallarta store, located on Francisco Medina Asensio Avenue next to Office Max, offers workshops and training, including recent sessions on anti-slip flooring and upcoming courses on natural wood finishes. Beyond business, Benjamin Moore has made a strong cultural impact in the community, helping create more than 15 murals across the city in collaboration with local artists and institutions. With mostly water-based, eco-friendly products, the brand says it is committed to both sustainability and the artistic identity of Puerto Vallarta. With information from Fernando Bojorquez, Maria Ammerman, CPS News.
That truly was a colorful one.
I don't know what happened. It's our 2-year newscast. I'm like, it is a very colorful story. I mean, here, I'll try it, but it is a colorful story.
It was a colorful story, Brent.
Can I emphasize that? Oh my God. We're having a lot of fun behind the scenes today. I mean, if you could only keep the camera rolling out between takes, it'd be pretty funny. But yes, thank you for that colorful story.
All right, well, right now it's time for On This Date. It's one of the funnest segments we have on the newscast. So why don't you start? Tell us a little bit. Are you ready for fun? Yes.
I'm ready for fun. Let's have some fun. All right, we've been doing this. If you've been a long-time viewer, you know what we're about to do. So it's On This Day time. And today, on this day, January 9th, this is Blue Monday.
Ooh, it's a colorful one too.
Okay, I gotcha. So Blue Monday is a color, and it's also the third Monday in January, and also one of my favorite New Order songs.
Oh, really?
Oh, Blue Monday. I wish we had that going in the background right now.
I
can
know,
see our
that
set.
would be perfect.
We got people on the set dancing offset right now, I promise you. All right, it's also, more importantly, it's Elementary School Teacher Day.
Oh, congratulations to all the elementary school teachers.
Thank you for you. And now, of course, I've always got the weird ones that aren't that serious. So the next one is World Quark Day. Quark.
What is quark?
Yeah, you can do this. Quark. So World Quark Day. So all right, most people probably don't know this one. So this one is an annual food celebration, and it's a day dedicated to quark.
Okay.
Yeah, now you understand it completely,
quark
right?
Day.
So what quark is, it's a soft, creamy European dairy product that's somewhere between like yogurt and cottage cheese and cream cheese.
Ah, sounds delicious.
Sounds great, doesn't it? And it's observed, Quark Day is observed every January 19th and was created in 2019 by Bavarian food author known as the Queen of Quark.
Of course she was.
Hey, Queen of Quark, thanks for all you do. Okay, what do you got?
Those are interesting. I also had Blue Monday, which is the saddest day of the year.
But colorful.
But we're very happy today, so
we are.
Whatever. Also, I have here that in Mexico, 100 years ago, Mr. Jose Alfredo Jimenez was born, and he is the legendary ranchera singer, songwriter. You know, most of the very good ranchera songs are written and performed by him. But yeah, he was born 100 years ago.
Wow.
And then what else do I have? Popcorn Day. Today is Popcorn Day, you guys. Yes, it's the oldest snack.
Oh.
It's about 7,000 years old.
Wow,
So.
it goes well with quark.
There you go.
Have a little quark with your popcorn today. What else? Is that it?
That's all I got.
Those are good
and
ones.
of course, 2 years ago today, CPS News was born.
Oh, nicely done. Way to stick
There
the
you have
landing.
it.
That was great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, stick with us. I hope you enjoyed the On This Day at our 2-year anniversary. But don't go anywhere because I'm going to be right back here. Jesse's going to disappear. Delilah is going to reappear because it's time for Voices of Vallarta. So stick with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. And yes, that is Delilah Boku sitting beside me. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much, Brent. It's wonderful to be here and see you looking so dapper on this Blue Monday.
You and your sparkles look amazing. We can just
Wow.
wax poetic about each other for hours, but
Let's not.
no, we're not here to talk about that, but we are here to talk about, I don't know how long ago it was. We talked about your show last year, and now here you are again, and kind of a new reinvented version of it. But I'm very interested. So it's a Annie Lennox. There we go. Not
Yes.
Lanny Annex. She would not like that. Lanny Annex inspired show. And so, speaking of inspiration, how does she inspire you? Why do you do this performance?
Well, like most people growing up in the 80s, Annie Lennox has been a huge inspiration for all of us. For me, she has inspired me so much since I was a teenager. And not just for her fierce looks, her unapologetic, very strong looks, and her incredible music. They had so many great hits, but also later as an adult with her powerful work as a humanitarian. She's just such an incredible person and a great role model. Very inspired by Annie Lennox.
Wow,
Yes.
absolutely. It's amazing you're doing this. She sounds like an incredible person. I've never met her, but obviously being an 80s child, I'm very aware of her music and everything she's done. Now, you describe, and this show is described as a fully immersive experience. What's the theme of the show this time around? What can you say about it? What are audience expecting?
Okay. So when you walk into the theater, you will be transported into our world, the Annie Lennox Eurythmics world. And we take you on not only a musical journey of her career. We start with one of their early hits in United States, actually. I think Sweet Dreams had just hit, and then they were asked to write the music for the movie version of 1984, which is George Orwell's classic novel, as we know. So it's a dystopian world. They're writing some very dark songs. In the beginning of their career, a lot of dark themes. So we take you on this journey. It starts dark, because sometimes art represents what's going on in the world. So we're all experiencing some darkness recently, and so a lot of changes, a lot of uncertainty. So we go from that, and then the show begins to arc into her solo career, which is lighter, and also she really delves deep into human relationships, let's say connections, relationships, very deep themes, I guess, very personal themes. You could tell that she's really writing about her own experiences. And I think that's why people truly love her and why she's had such a long-lasting career, because she talks about, experiences that we've all had.
Yeah, and you've obviously got a lot of love and appreciation for her, and it probably makes it easier. It probably makes it easier to do the show because you're not doing like an impersonation of her. You're really more of a tribute to her in your show. And so now, if somebody's seen the show before, say last year when I interviewed you, what's different this time around? Are there a couple changes? Is it mostly the same, or have you really kind of changed it up a little bit?
Oh, we definitely have some changes because we want to keep it fresh every year. We have 2 new songs, and we change some of the choreography in the first song that starts the show off. So if you've never seen the show, it's going to be very exciting. 14 iconic hits, action-packed, song after song, costume changes, dancers, backup singers. So it's very active, stunning visuals going on behind. If you've already seen the show, you'll see some new things in the show. You'll love it.
I love it. And it's like you have to be in training for this show. I mean, it sounds like you're working hard to get ready and to put on the show every night. I can just imagine. So let's talk about, her vocal style and your approach. I know you didn't want to go out there and just imitate her per se.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about, what your approach to honoring her on stage is all about.
That's a great question, Brent. Thank you for asking that. My director, Jordan Carnegie, he also stars in Hedvig and a new show upcoming. I won't spoil it. And our musical director, Diego Guerrero, the three of us got together to talk about that because we didn't want to try and imitate her. We wanted to walk alongside her, as it were. And so we changed the keys of the songs, the tone of the songs to better match my vocal range. And also really worked with finding our own harmonies and a way for me to express these songs from my own experiences in life instead of trying to copy maybe and figure out what she was going through. I just relate to things that I have experienced. It's made the show and the songs so much more powerful for me personally. And I feel like I embody them really from the inside out now, instead of trying to copy her.
That's amazing. So, I mean, you're getting kind of a behind the scenes look and view and understanding of what it's like to be a performer that really respects the material and really wants to go out there and, like I said, not be an imitation to it, but, you know, give your own version of it. And I like that you make those changes to make it your own, as opposed to trying to just emulate everything she does. That's really, really cool. So, of course, last but not least, how our viewers can get tickets, find out where the show is at. What's the best way to find out everything about the Annie Lennox show?
Okay, first of all, you go to cococabaret.com online or go to their website and you can order tickets online. The very best way to get your tickets, if you can, go to the box office in person. And it's a much easier experience. You won't be charged the little fees they have for the online shopping fees. And the artist always appreciates when people can go to the box office. So we are at Coco Cabaret every single Friday night at 5 p.m. through March, and maybe we'll be extended.
All right. Well, you're booked until March, it sounds like, everybody. You've got to go out and see this show. Very talented people involved in it. I know Jordan, I know your team, and I know that you guys put on a good show. And I'm very personally involved and have been involved with Coco Cabaret. And what an amazing venue with lots of AC, which we kind of need even right now.
We need some AC.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Dala, for coming back and joining us again. I know our viewers appreciate it. But that's all the time we have for today. So I hope to see you again soon and definitely see you at the show. So thank you all for tuning into Voice of Art. And if you want to be right where Delilah is, you can be. Just contact us. Ask us about being on the show, and we'll get you seated right there. And we're going to be back again with another Voice of Vallarta next week. So make sure you're here. All right, let's move on with the news. Here we go.
The Mega Derby Intercontinental in Puerto Vallarta Thursday night, surprising attendees and nearby residents. Units from the Mexican Army, Navy, and National Guard arrived simultaneously near the Puerto Vallarta International Convention Center, deploying an estimated 80 to 100 armed personnel and at least a dozen official vehicles. Security forces set up checkpoints at main access roads, conducted vehicle inspections, and positioned units in nearby strategic intersections, causing traffic delays and heightened concern in the area. A group of federal agents later entered the convention center, moving directly toward the cockfighting arena, where they remained for several minutes. The Mega Derby began January 13th and is scheduled to run through January 18th, with no incidents reported so far. Officials have not provided an official explanation for the operation, though sources suggest it was likely a preventive security measure. No arrests were reported, but the unusual show of force left many questioning the scale and purpose of the deployment. With information from Guadalupe Arce, Eric Stevenson, CPS News.
All right, but that was such a great interview. Wow, it was perfect for our 2-year anniversary.
It was perfect, and it was good to have her back, and she puts on a great show, and I can't wait to see her again. But speaking of putting on a great show, there's a guy over here on set that we all know that puts on an amazing show when it comes to sports.
What is up, Dave?
Look at that.
It's going to be the greatest sports segment we've ever had.
Yes. I do it for your dad.
2-year anniversary. It's like your special gift to us on our 2-year anniversary is you're going to give us an amazing sports cast.
Oh, well, it's going to be something. We'll see what happens.
Let's see.
All right, let's do some sports fun from Puerto Vallarta and the region. It's getting interesting for some local athletes. We start with soccer, where a local star is stepping onto the national stage. Puerto Vallarta's own Kevin Castañeda has been called up to the Mexican national team for upcoming friendlies against Panama on January 22nd and Bolivia on January 25th. Both matches will be played on the road, and the roster is made up entirely of Liga MX players. At 26 years old, Castañeda has become a cornerstone for Xolos de Tijuana, where he wears the number 10 jersey. Known for his creative play and leadership in midfield, he's been one of the most consistent players for the club. His impact was especially clear in the Apertura 2025 playoffs, where he scored in the quarterfinals against Tigres, a goal that really underscored his ability to perform in high-pressure moments. Kevin's journey began right here in the region with Hippocampos Vallarta, later moving to Vaqueros Bella Vista in the 3rd Division, before joining Toluca's youth system way back in 2017. So this young guy actually debuted professionally in the Copa MX way back in 2018, scoring in his very first match, and soon after he made his First Division debut. Now his national team call-up marks the biggest milestone of his career so far, and it's a proud moment for Puerto Vallarta and for Mexican football. All right, moving on from the football pitch to the waves. In international surfing news, Heriberto Martinez from Sayulita is competing in the WSL World Junior Longboard Championship in the Philippines. The 24-year-old is already on site representing Jalisco in a field of 48 competitors from 16 countries. The competition window winds down in the next couple days, with elimination rounds determining the new world junior champion. Heriberto's rise from Sayulita's beaches to the global stage highlights how our region continues to produce world-class water sport athletes. We'll be keeping an eye on his progress. And finally, with just 150 days until the 2026 FIFA World Cup, Guadalajara has officially named 25 ambassadors who will represent the city ahead of the tournament. The group includes legendary Mexican players like Andres Cardero, Pavel Pardo, Oswaldo Sanchez, Carlos Salcido, Ramon Ramirez, and Bofo Bautista, along with historic figures such as Benjamin Galindo and Jose Manuel de la Torre. But it's not just about soccer. Guadalajara also included Olympic and Paralympic athletes like Herman Sanchez, Alejandra Orozco, Ivan Garcia, Heidi Aceves, and Anolfo Castorena, showcasing inclusion, excellence, and a full spectrum of Jalisco's sporting legacy. These ambassadors will take part in promotional, cultural, and sporting activities as Guadalajara prepares to welcome the world. And this just in on my phone here, because it's just that fresh, the results for the Vallarta Cup Regatta came in. And after thrilling races and fierce competition across the bay, we celebrate our champions in all 3 classes. Cruising class, Azulejo, multi-hull class, Paladin, and the performance class, the Lost Dragon. And this was dedicated to a friend of mine, Mike Danielson. So, yeah, geez, yeah.
Thank you so much for that information.
And a this just in moment. That's our first time. We've never had a this just in moment with you. So
I know, my first.
Yay,
so
for the anniversary. Thank you so much for that info.
Absolutely.
And for all that fun and dynamic sports information. Now let's tell you a little bit about Hospitens My Health program. But instead of me telling you about it, how about we hear it?
Good program. I would recommend it to anybody new that's coming to Puerto Vallarta. In that I've been a member here for almost 8 years. We have a lot of meetings here, usually once a month, where we get to meet and interact with other members, and also to share common concerns regarding health. And the facilities and care here at Hospital is really excellent in Puerto Vallarta. The doctors are all very personable, they're very approachable and easy to speak to. And whenever I've had any utilization of services here at the hospital, it's been a perfect experience. I'd highly recommend it and encourage you all to take part in my health program.
All right, remember to call 322-226-2080 to book your appointment or visit them at Boulevard Francisco Medina Asensio, 3970. Now, here's our next story tonight.
Nayarit Governor Miguel Ángel Navarro Quintero is warning that organized crime groups are forcibly installing illegal slot machines inside small neighborhood shops, not just to make money, but to target children and young people. According to the governor, criminal cells are placing the machines in convenience stores without the owner's consent, then returning later to demand profits or apply pressure. Shopkeepers say they are often left with no choice but to tolerate the devices. Navarro Quintero explained that these mini casinos are being used as recruitment points, allowing criminals to observe, attract, and potentially groom vulnerable minors. State authorities say they have already removed thousands of illegal machines across Nayarit and are continuing a systematic crackdown. Bahía de Banderas has been identified as a priority area due to its constant connection with Puerto Vallarta and high population movement. The State Peacebuilding Task Force, including the Navy, Army, National Guard, and State Police, has intensified operations to dismantle this network. Officials are urging residents not to normalize the presence of these machines and to report them anonymously by calling 089. The governor stressed that Nayarit maintains a zero-tolerance policy toward this practice and will continue actions to protect families, businesses, and minors from criminal exploitation. With information from Adolfo Torres, Maria Ammerman, CPS News.
Thanks, Maria. And as the news story stated, authorities' operations will continue as they work to shut down these networks and protect families across the state. Now, I've got a quick word from one of our newer sponsors, and it's Marina Vallarta Golf Club. Absolutely. We were just there for a Posada. It was pretty exciting. So you should imagine starting your Sunday with a full buffet and panoramic view of the Marina Vallarta golf course. Fresh flavors and plenty of options, and the perfect spot to ease into the morning. They're serving from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Marina Vallarta Golf Club. The buffet is 435 pesos, 285 for juniors, and yes, it includes unlimited mimosas. And parking is right there on site. You'll find them at Paseo de la Marina, 430, or you can call anytime at 322-221-0073 for a reservation. Marina Vallarta Golf Club, a great way to spend your Sunday.
Yes, it is. We truly recommend it. So, but guess what? We're out of time in this 2-year anniversary.
I know.
So thank you so much for, sticking with us, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
And I don't even know how many thank yous we said, but you probably had a lot of shots. But good night to everybody from CPS News, the news that speaks your language.